wherever you are joining from. First of all, I like I would like to thank all the participants for joining this webinar. I am MM Hassan Mahfouz, a PhD candidate at University of Quebec. Will be the moderator for this event. Before starting this program, we can recite Surah Al-Fatiha. So we can recite the Surah Al-Fatiha and all participants, are you listening me?
Yes, listener.
Okay, so we can recite the Surah Al-Fatiha, then we can start our main program, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Actually, this event enlightened how to write and get published a high impact journal article. Already we say in our advertisement. Is jointly organized by Bangladeshi Student Union Malaysia BSUM. I would like to request you all to you have microphone, mute the microphone to avoid any kind of technical and unexpected interruption. BSMU, Bangladeshi Student Union Malaysia, largest non-political Bangladeshi students organization in Malaysia, started its journey in 2014 with the goal to unite the Bangladeshi students irrespective of their group, creed, religion, and caste. Currently, BSMU presents almost 28,000 Bangladeshi students in Malaysia and contributing for their development in different sectors. We are really happy to have all of you today's event organized by our beloved BSMU. Now we can enjoy a short video regarding our BSMU organization.
হ্যালো জি ভাই বলেন ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা সরি সরি
আমার সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি চিরদিন তোমার আকাশ চিরদিন তোমার আকাশ তোমার বাতাস আমার প্রাণে ওমা আমার প্রাণে বাজায় বাঁশি সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি তোমা ফাগুনে তো রামের মনে প্রাণে পাগল করে মনে হায় হায় রে ওমা ফাগুনে তো আমের মনে প্রাণে পাগল করে ওমা ঘ্রাণে তোর ভরা খেতে কি দেখেছি আমি কি দেখেছি মধুর হাসি সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি
Thank you very much to watching a short video regarding our BSMU. Now, I'll request Mr. President Alangir Akash of BSMU for welcoming remarks.
Can you hear me, Dr. Mahfouz?
Yes, we can hear you. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for all our participants who joined today's event. Especially thanks to our honorable distinguished speaker of this event, Professor Dr. Zahangir Alam, for accepting our invitations and for joining with us. We are really happy to have you, Doctor, with us. So, my welcoming remarks will be very short and brief. Let me tell you something about the BSUM. As you know, BSUM is the Bangladeshi Student Union Malaysia, is the biggest Bangladeshi student platform in Malaysia. So BSUM represents almost 28,000 Bangladeshi students who studied in Malaysia. So we started 2014 till now. BSUM doing a great job since its establishment. We actually, BSUM is contributing in different sectors such as education, career, soft skills, and so many for the students. And we usually organize different webinars, offline, online programs. So as you guys are joining one of our programs, and we just usually do this kind of program. Just keep in touch with us, and you will get the notification for all our upcoming events. So you will be happy to know that in our today's event, there are almost 20 countries participants are registered, and the registration is like more than 200 is around 250, and I think the participants are joining soon. It's almost like it's 11 in Malaysia, and in Bangladesh is 9, and as because the global participants are joining today's event, so I think the time is a bit problematic. So hopefully they will join soon, and I don't want to prolong my remarks, as I believe you guys are waiting to listen our distinguished speakers sharing session. So I would like to wish you all the best for all of you, and hopefully you guys will be benefited from this event and particularly this session. And thank you. And on behalf of my committee, on behalf of my team, I would like to thanks all the committee members who work for this, especially Brother Mahfouz, Mahian, and Sister Tuski, and so many. Actually, they work for this success to become successful this event. They work hard actually. So thank you very much, and once again, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Brother Mahfouz, take back to you.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Mr. President, for your wonderful warm welcoming speech. Once again, I would like to remind you all to mute your microphone to avoid technical and unexpected interruption during this session. Your cooperation is highly appreciated. If you have any question regarding our webinar, you can type your question in the chat box. This talk will be divided into 3 segments. Each segment will have 30 minutes of talk, 10 minutes of question answer section. In the end, there will be an open section. For your kind information, we will take a group photo at the end of the session. Please prepare yourself for at the end of the talk. Before I proceed, let me give a brief introduction of our distinguished professor, Professor Dr. MD Zahangir Alam. He's a professor and coordinator by Environmental Engineering Research Center at International Islamic University, Malaysia. He has been awarded 62 gold, 52 silver, and 48 bronze medals at the university, national, and international levels for various research achievements. Professor Zahangir Alam is well known in his research field and supervised more than 50 postgraduate students at master's, 33 students, and PhD, more than 20 students. And for the bachelor, he supervised more than 140 bachelor students. He has examined those as an external and internal examiners at national and international levels. Being highly active in research. Prof. Zahangir Alam has authored and co-authored some 450 publications, including international and local referred journal, is more than 153. Conference paper, more than 200. Books, 3 books, chapter 39. Patents, 25. Project reports, more than 35. His journal paper has a large number of citations, more than 7,616, with high index 45, H index 45 at Google Scholar database. Without taking much of your time, now please welcome Professor Dr. Zahangir Alam to deliver his important speech. I'll request Prof. please deliver your important speech. We are waiting for your speech. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? My sound is clear?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can see your
I'm not
faces.
using the phone, microphone. So,
Oh,
all right,
no
thank
problem,
you.
sir. We
Thank you,
can
Mr.
hear you.
Mahabuz, as the moderator here today. Thank you very much, and thank you to President Mr. Alamgir for BSMU, right? Bangladesh Students Union Malaysia. So I'd like to thank to BSMU to inviting me today, to share my experience. Actually, I have 20 years experience. I'm joined to International Islamic University. It is 20 years now, 2002. So it is 20 years. So I have experience on academic in terms of publications that I want to share with you. So I hope it will be benefited to you. Also, I'd like to thank the participant. As you mentioned, President mentioned here, is the 20 countries. It's really, it is very remarkable. It's 20 countries, different students is coming here to listen. So let's say it is, as I say, it is just a sharing. I want to share with you, but if you have a questions, you can, at the end of the sessions, you can ask me if you want to more clarifications or more things you want to know about it. All right, so let's go for sharing of my slide here. Can you see this slide?
Yes, sir. We can see your slides.
Okay, thanks again. So the topic is already selected. So how to write and get published a high impact journal article. So I have two parts here. One is how to write. One of the part is how to write an article. So those who are postgraduate student at master's level, there is a starting point to how to write, of course. And then those who are undergraduate, those are currently also, so a lot of undergraduates, they are trying to publish or, presenting papers to the conference. So the writing part, I'll go with that will be useful to undergraduate, masters, and those who are PhD already, how to write, I believe, how to write at that sense. But of course, here I'm just give some tips and sharing. And the second part is a high impact journal, how to get published in high impact journal. So therefore, you have to know about some database where you can publish high impact journal. So there'll be some talk on that. So move on to the slide here. As I mentioned, that is two part. First part will be writing scientific article in papers, how to write it, and second part will be some index. I'll talk about index, some index database, how actually identify a good journal to publish it here. Okay, so before that, I'm just looking some general views because as here, in sense, this audience is mostly it is in Malaysia and also some other countries, even though I didn't know, but you have to know as a student, undergraduate and postgraduate level, either you're doing undergraduate or master's and PhD. So the world-class university, there is some definitions. Sometimes say world-class. So what is the meaning of world-class? So I'm just sharing with you some world-class things. I want to say we are actually, operating, or we are actually looking for world-class university. How we identify that university is a good student? It's not just world-class, but it's a quality university example. When we start here, then how we identify is a quality university. So mostly, various types of ranking like US ranking, Shanghai ranking or higher education. So many rankings is going on, and universities they're looking for very seriously about ranking, though it's still contradictions of, or there is some debate of all these ranking is really is going on for quality or not. That's another debate. But in general, we're looking some quality university. So therefore, there is some criteria, some guidelines. So in sense, for me, I always say, if you have a good student, if you have talented student, we can achieve whatever we want actually. So first place is students, we need it. So student is we other sense we say is a customer. In the sense if we have any business, we have customers. So student is to the university is a customer. So we need to oil train them to produce a good, best quality graduate. So therefore, that's one of the selected criteria that we are looking for the world-class university. So there will be, of course, currently we're doing about teaching and research. So research and teaching. Teaching is our core, we call core business. We have to go as well, teaching. But you want to prove yourself as a student or as a staff. I'm as a staff here. We have to more focus on research. As a student, when you are performing, your CGP is good. Okay, your CGP is very good. But if you published a paper, a high impact journal, let's say you want to publish a Q1 journal. So the wow factor, we say wow. You publish a Q1 journal. So if you make it yourself something special, you have to publish. Simply, you have to publish a high impact that will be actually you can differentiate is where you are and what you want to do. So therefore, research is now more for even though we academic, if I'm to myself, I'm to me to differentiate to any other academic. So I have to go for research. There is no way. There is no other alternative. There is no shortcut, no other alternative. I have to go research to prove myself I renowned something. So therefore, a renowned researcher, a renowned professor, renowned all these actually connecting to the world-class university. And as I mentioned already, that the student must be there, talented student must be there. So we have to retain talented students, we have to retain talented staff, we have to recruit talented staff and students from international platform. So that's all this actually fulfill our world-class university. So when you look at the world-class university, we have to look at in terms of research. Of course, teaching, as I mentioned, in terms of research, quality of students, quality of staff, and we have some other criteria like, that university, how it diversified their income, things, what is the source of their income? Is there any endowment in that university? Like Harvard, the Harvard endowment is more than 30 billion. Harvard University's endowment. So how actually they generate the money and they're supporting community, they're supporting industry, community. So this is the way actually the world-class we define it. Another one I highlight here, provide high quality and supportive research and educational environment. This is very important. Sometimes our lab is not all equipped. So if your lab is not all equipped, how to do research? So therefore, the high quality labs, that is very, very important of the research. So high quality lab supporting these resources in the lab is very, very, very important. And should be, studies visions, missions, and how to implement. So that actually all the criteria. I'm not going through all these points. You can read about it, but the overview of this research, world-class university or the quality university or high class of the university should be these types of guideline to be that easy for you to select whether you have to go the next. Those who finish your master's, you want to go further study for PhD. So you can look at some university, what type of universities, reputations. Although it's a lot of database, we know the ranking. Another thing we know the ranking, different types of ranking, but we can optimize. If we say QS ranking, what is that? If you have say higher education, what is US news ranking, example, Shanghai also ranking. So there's many types of ranking, but at the end, basically we optimize what is our focus based on what we want to do. So therefore, we can find a good university for your higher education. Those who are undergraduate, you want to go for postgraduate studies. So find a quick review to how to find a university that can be suited to you to go for further planning. Okay, in general, right now in Malaysia, we are looking about quality research university or world-class research university in terms of quality, as I mentioned, quality and quantity of researchers, number one. Number two, quality and quantity of research. You can see number three here is quality and quantity of postgraduates. So therefore, without postgraduate, we cannot achieve that particular research, world-class research university or world-class university. So we need quality and quantity of postgraduate students. Innovations must be there. Networking linkage is very, very important right now, because if we cannot work alone. We need even though it's not an academic staff, so you need a student networking is very important. If you have a network to your friends, where is let's say UK, US, Australia, all these types of leading universities, UK, you can say US, Australia, New Zealand. So you can make a very good networking linkage with the professors. You can make the link with the professors. Look at that, because if you just browse within a few seconds, you can find so many things. During our time, we have to go to the library. Even the one article, when I was doing my PhD, one article, and to find the whole day, I need to time to search that only one article, to searching one by one all the journals and everything. But now it's very easy. The time how to save, where I spend one day to find the article, and you can just few seconds you can find that article. So the timing that you can optimize your time to get more outcome from this time, example from this time. So networking linkage is now it is in your hand. During our time, we just email to the professors, and we are waiting for response and things. So but nowadays, just click email and just blog email, so many social media, so many things you can do it. So therefore, you have to find a strong networking linkage to other universities, professors, students. So these types of things. We have another thing: professional gift and service. Professional service is important, quality resource and infrastructure, the university. All right, so move on quickly to, I'll give you some views of global publication. This data is before pandemic, so it will be a little bit increased because every year is 5 to 6% are increasing the numbers. So you can see the 35,000 of the journal is publishing, more than that, maybe it's 40,000. So you have plenty of things to select what type of journal you want to publish it. So it is huge numbers, but quality thing, if you look about quality, then we come back to screening about ISI or Web of Science. ISI is the first institute of scientific information that they started, and then later on is there so many handover now we call Web of Science, and then it was in Thomson Reuters on time, and then now is the Cleverix. So it is changing of the ownership of this, but it is move on. The quality is not compromised anymore. So therefore, Web of Science, Scopus database, one of the acceptable, there is two databases, Scopus and Web of Science is most leading index journal is going on. So it's still, and then every year is 2.5 million is publishing. Even JCR Journal Citation Report, that is handled by Web of Science or ISI, you can say. Some still old people, they still know about ISI, but now new is a Web of Science, sometimes it's a Web of Knowledge. So JCR Journal Citation Impact Journal Citation Report, which are actually impact factor based journal, it still is 14,000, and Q1 journal itself is more than 4,000. So therefore, we have huge opportunity is there to find. You don't need too much audit about what is limited journal. These numbers is there. Only you have to identify the suitable journals. That is, I'll share with you how we find the suitable journals later on. Look at quickly that what have been actually going on for the readers. Is according to some statistics here, the 50% of the research paper, there is no citations. Even though we have more than 4,000 Q1 journal, and Q1 journal maybe top 10 journal or top 100 journals examples, even there is some of the article there is no citation. This meaning people are not reading at all. There is not, read the articles and not going, even though if you read, you not cite maybe, but even though you read it, you not cite, but even though not read, there is no question about citations. So 50% of the article, there is no citations. 90% readers just go for content, 90% of the readers. And only 5%, the reader only, they go through the title. And 2% we found that is only abstract and introduction. But only less than 1% reader is only read the full papers. So look at this. So it's meaning that what we are publishing actually, so who is the reader actually? Is any already reader or not? So therefore we have to look at it very, very carefully the publish that the reader can be attractive. So now I'll give you some database here. I'll talk about some database. We talk about the article, journals. Now is the database. So as I mentioned, one of the biggest, the top quality of the database you see that your article is Web of Science, ISI Web of Science. Second one we consider is Scopus. So these two institutionally, especially in Malaysia, if those were from outside, I'm not sure about it. Much maybe in Canada, I don't know about. Maybe Mahapus can share later. So in Malaysia, index journal is only Scopus and Web of Science. This JCR, Journal Citation Report. These two is actually considered. Google Scholar is not considered as the index journal. If you have any criteria to fulfill your degree, completion of master's, completion of PhD, there is some article you need to publish or you have to present papers. But that criteria is only the Scopus and Web of Science index. If not Web of Science, it's a bit difficult to publish. Web of Science is meaning impact factor journal, but at least Scopus index, it should be fine. And then Google Scholar is very, very wider, the database. So therefore, it's not much acceptable with Google Scholar index journal. We have another PubMed Central, and PubMed Central is a huge database, 2.2 million, 43 million Scopus, 40 million is Web of Science. So it's a huge, and Google Scholar almost all they're taking on. So that's the things about. So before that, I just share with you some information about the university, some information about the articles, how the scenario is going on, and then also the last part, I share with some quality database. So now I'll come back to quickly about your article. Now we want to write the article. So what type of things that types of articles, what type? Letters, normally the editors write. Research article, that is we are here, the students and the researcher, the scientists. We are here to write the research article. We have short communication. Sometimes we have very novel research, but it's not comprehensive data you don't have, but it's very novel. The research work is very novel, unique. So you feel that I need to publish it before going to the details. So therefore it's called short communications, very quick few pages. And that basically here is claim of novelty. The originality is there, but not full data that you have in your hand. Review article, as you know, that review article is mostly it is write not by the students, though it is we ask the students to write, but basically the journals, the editors, they invite to the professors, and professors supposed to write the review article, transforming or or collecting, integrating all his or her articles or findings into a review article. But nowadays, of course, this student, we ask student, especially the PhD level, so can we start to write a review article? But this is he or she representing actually the professors. It's not that a student has their own, is a studying career. So therefore, is on behalf of the professors, he started to write it because it's a team, it's a teamwork, it's a supervisors and then students, it's a teamwork. So we work together. That's a review article. So always I ask my PhD student, when you come here, then I say, can you just focus your literature review and if you can produce about a review article first. So that review article is just a draft, and then after draft, then I personally go through and give the comments and improve further and submit to the journals for publication. So that's about review articles. And it's very good. There is the next slide you can see here. I'll show you some connections of review article and the scientific article or original articles and the differences of citations. So here, why it is important to publish a high impact. I'm talking about here today. I'm giving to share with you about impact journal. At least there is some quality journal that how we get published it. So, but why it is important? The reason simply that is a visibility. Yes, visibility of the research finding. Just think about it. We're publishing Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. That is JCR, Journal Citation Report. Then you come back to index journal like Scopus. So whereas we have 4,000 papers, or even though in your area, maybe always I say, in your particular area, you can find, you have to know how many relevant journal in your area are publishing every year. When I asked my student, my team, I said, do you know every student, you should have a database, your own database. You can list down how many relevant journal you have, how many, let's say 20, 10, 2, 3, whatever. Doesn't matter the numbers, but at least you have to know how many journal in Scopus, in Web of Science, in even the Google Scholar, or any other publisher, world publisher like Elsevier, Springer, or Taylor France. So these types of all these big, Big Willie also there. So all these big publishers database also, they have their own publications, and they have every month they're publishing, and they have their own site, their own website to manage it. So therefore, I ask students to make your own database, let's say 20 journals, and you can every month you look at the table of content of that 20 journals every month, and they publish the new issues. When publish new issues, immediately go and check any relevant article to you, and keep you just keep it up to date. So therefore, we look at first Q1 journal, definitely is a high quality. Then you can go the Q2, Q3, and Q4, and then if you have, and then you can go the scope and so on. It's meaning that if you have published high impact journal, the audience, the reader, the audience is always they are looking for high quality of article. So therefore, the visibility of the research findings is there if you publish the high impact. So there is no questions about it. Increase the chance of citation. If you publish, if I myself, you want to go through, I have some #1 journal in my area. I know that this is the #1 journal, so I have to go there first and I have to check. So the citations that, if you think about the citation, I cite when I write a paper, I cite, of course, this, if you have the, let's say, bioresearch technology, one of our journalists, one of the leading journals, we say bioresearch technology, water research example. Water research, one of the leading journal in water resources. So this type of journal, if any article published, immediately I cite them. Immediately, there is no question about it. If any relevant article is published in these few journals, top journals, then we immediately cite it. It's meaning we increase the citation. Therefore, we need to publish high impact, greater recognition of among the peers, helping institution for various ranking. We are KPI, we have a KPI. We have to publish, let's say, one Q1 journal example, so we have to publish it. Associated benefit with promotion, increment, and other things. So student case, I believe I asked my student that you can publish Q1 journal, Q1, Q2, or any impact factor journal as a PhD student or as a master's and a PhD. You'll get the opportunity. It's a big, very wider opportunity to get your place in, like say in US. US has a lot of funds there, and they're looking for quality students. Quality student, how to defend the quality student? They're looking about publications. If one master's student published one Q1 journal, or some JCR publications they have, and some proceedings they published it. Immediately they are looking at. One of the junior professor in the US is from my institution in Bangladesh. So he told me that I'm looking a student of PhD. It's not the GRA, the high score of GRA. No, I'm not looking that very high TOEFL score and high. Yeah, I'm looking about who is actually trained in research. Who is trained? It means that he knows the research. He knows how to write a paper. He knows how to start the research. That's I'm looking for. Other than is a high scores of GRA, high score of other scores that is evaluating as a good student. No, I'm looking. My perception is the same. I'm also looking. I always say I don't much bother about you are a good student or not. I'm looking about are you hardworking, sincere, and committed. If you are hardworking, sincere, and committed, I can achieve. I can manage to achieve it. It's no problem for me. I can manage, I can supervise you to achieve a certain goal if you are hardworking, if you are committed, and you are sincere. So therefore, it is very important right now that to publishing papers to make more feasibility, more possibility of getting further positions. All right, now here, which manuscripts are published in high impact factor journal? Another point I ask you questions here, high impact journal, which type of manuscript that we have. So here, which manuscript are published. So those who are actually living in Malaysia examples, for me, I'm last 20 years here, I'm working. But alhamdulillah, I managed to publish even many high impact journals, many Q1s we published it. But it's not easy, simply as say. So what they're looking for, work for established scientists and labs. You can see here, are we established scientists or labs? If not, it's 50% of chance. Let's say journal editors, when we submit a paper, journal editor look at who is the affiliation here. This affiliation is International Islamic University. Before that, let's say it is Malaysia. The affiliation as a country is in Malaysia. So when it's a Malaysian papers, it will be 50% chance is gone, simply. I'm just giving an example. It's not a, say, just 50%, but I'm trying to say the possibility of publication. So if it is Malaysian affiliation article, 50%, the editor will be not feel, oh, Malaysian paper, it's not much that. But if it's a Singapore, it's coming from Singapore, then it is almost 80% is there. I mean, he decided 80% that it should be a quality. But even though in Malaysian paper with a high quality, high findings, but the perceptions is Malaysian affiliations of 50% is gone. So when you say International Islamic University, then another 25% is gone, because International Islamic University is not that trained with Malaysia. Maybe University Malaya, then okay, there is still they have better perceptions as compared to other universities. So this is the way we are actually struggling to get a publications at high impact journal. It's not easy. So then second time, the result of general interest, sometimes the audience, the readers. If you say your is very good quality article, very well written, everything's fine, it's good. But the wider scope of the readers is not, is meaning the focus. Right now, what is the focus right now? We're looking for examples. Whatever we are engineering, I'm chemical engineering examples. But if you look at things about artificial intelligence, machine learning, I'm talking about science and technology. Machine learning, those who are from social science, I'm not much idea about it, but I'm looking about science and technology, big data, Internet of Things, LOT. So all these things is very focused now. If you have something to, and now Corona, COVID-19, if you have something COVID-19 without any delay, you'll publish. It's depend on, general interest and reader scope and all these things. So that is it's a different story. But in general, there is some things that need to consider. Novelty, definitely original research and novelty is one of the things. If there is no original, no novelty, we're just repeating something, or we're just claiming, with other findings. So other findings say this, so I have also this. It's not actually novelty and the original research. Sometimes we say, I found the similar result from other research. Similar result in other research, what do you mean about it? You got the similar results, or you support by other findings, is meaning what? So therefore, we have to prove that it's original, it's a novel. How to prove original novel? I'll give later on some tips here. Concise and oil written. Oil written, concise. You don't need too much in number of pages in your article. It will be very concise and oil written, informative. That's it. All right. A good manuscript consists of what? A good manuscript is a good manuscript. How we prove is a good manuscript? So what should be the criteria to be a good manuscript? As I say, is a concise and informative, to the point. You have to write to the point. We don't write to unnecessary things. Sometimes when I read my students or any other as a reviewer, or when I'm examining the thesis, unnecessary things is written there. Don't need. If you just focus, literature review, 80 pages, 100 pages literature review for what? 100 pages literature review. You just focus it. Relevant to, if not relevant, just delete it. We don't need actually. Sometimes we want to increase the page number. Then we are in Japan, their PhD thesis is just, if you publish 4 articles, just combine 4 articles, that's the thesis. Just combine 4 articles, put it on binding, and that is your thesis. Just pure findings, that's it. But we don't need to know all these things. Another thing is grammatical and technical error. Free from grammatical and technical error. You don't need to write as engineering or as a science and technology and engineering. If you're writing, you say the writing how to, I'm not good in the English, or I'm not a good writer or something. It's not actually. Writing English in engineering, science, and technology. Even the one professor, just I have shared with you, one professor of English. When I was doing my PhD, many times I caught this story. I was doing PhD in IIUM, University of Putra, Malaysia. And then I was thinking there's a big professor in Bangladeshi professor, English professor. So, and I have a good relations with the family relations. So I asked to him, sir, can you check my abstract only, because he's very busy. Just only abstract, because other thing, okay, but maybe abstract, because abstract is very important and you concise everything, it summarize everything, your thesis into the abstract. So I thought it would be better to ask him to just check my English, any corrections, anything happened in this. After a few days, and he asked me to come, and he asked me, say, hey, there is no English here. So there is no English. According to him, in that case, there is no English. It's meaning we're not writing real English. So these are sort of examples. So we just simple sentence. I always ask, write a very simple sentence, but careful, there is no grammatical errors. Grammatically is free of errors. So that's a free from grammatical and technical errors. Technically correct. Sometimes we write papers, is not technically correct. Technical terminology is not correct. Technical writing is not correct. So therefore we need to correct this one. It's not difficult, but we have This type of error, we cannot make it things, to leave to the reviewers or the editors, and then it will be rejected. Novel idea, you have to think about out of the box, quality and original research. Always say original research. How to prove there is original research? Novelty of the research, that is important. Good writing and attractive presentation. When you see the presentations, your result in discussions, your methodology result discussion, then you say, wow, that's very nicely presented, and we always say easy to easy to understand, easy to catch the things of what you're trying to express yourself. So that's the things that we need to know about it. Okay, before writing, what do you do? Before writing, we don't start yet to write a papers. So what do you have to do before writing? I'm just sharing my experience in my PhD. What I was doing during my PhD, I also advised to my student here many times, but of course it's depend on student how you take your feedback. So I finished my, let's say, objective 1. I have one experiment in objective 1. So I complete the experiment. Everything, analysis, I get my data, I do analysis, I prepared in terms of either table, figures, any mathematical things, and statistical analysis. Whatever do you need in your objective 1, we need to complete it, done. Okay, once it is done, then I start, then everything is done, then I move to the next experiment in lab, and in the meantime, I start writing. The moment I'm start writing, by a certain time, I put in my writing, like 2 hours every day, I write 2 hours, so I'm writing the manuscript. And in the meantime, I'm continuing my second objective. And then second is move on. Then within a month, I prepared a manuscript, I sent to the editors, and then I focus my second objective. So once we send to the editors, it will be, go through the reviews and takes time. During our time, we send by post. Every article I send by post. I have to post it to the editorial address. So therefore, it takes time, longer time to publish. It's not like within few days you know about whether it is what is going on. Everything we can see in our journal website at the status of the article. So that's the way actually we have to. That is I did, and then within my PhD, I managed to 12 high impact journals within my PhD. So because of planning, it's a proper plan. If you have a proper plans, you can manage it. If not, then and that's actually a breakthrough to your career simply. All right, so then you say collect, I put some point here, but actually I summarize what I explained to you. Collect, analysis the data, explain everything, make tables, metro figures. If not sufficient, if you feel that your findings is not sufficient, you can do some additional work, additional explain. If your supervisor asks, no, it is not sufficient, you have to discuss supervisors that I have produced this and I table it, do it. Not just go with the raw data with the supervisor. So Professor, this is my data. No, Professor has no time to look at all these things. You have to get ready. You have to get ready with the tables and draw the figures. If you mathematical models, simulations, and things, whatever you have, you can complete analysis what you understand. Simply, you cannot say I can do everything, but what you understand, do it and go to the professors, your supervisors, or any co-supervisors, supervisors, or other members, and discuss with them. Is it sufficient? Can I go? Can I start writing papers? And say, yes, it is go. Then it is a green signal from your supervisors, because supervisor has the experience. He or she knows about it. So therefore, you can move on to the writing. And in the meantime, writing doesn't mean that you're just writing, everything, stop it. You're just writing and move on to the next objective or next action plan. All right, so that is the way you have to move on to before writing. And then you have to start all this, and then you have to write it. So now structure of the scientific papers. I think this is standard. I don't need too much talk about it. And so here the structure, the standard structure of a scientific paper should have an article title, number 1. It will be abstract, then keywords, then introduction, methodology, result discussion, conclusion, reference, conclusion, acknowledgement, and reference. So I have few just point here, but definitely I'll go some bit details about title. Title is, okay, first place, the impressions, the impressions of your article is the title, first place. If I read the title and I feel my interest of whether I'll go further or not, this is the title. If I read the title, when I'm looking, even though when you search article, journal articles and things in the Google, in the Scopus database, we just look at the title keyword. We say these 2 keywords, search in title. And then if that 2 keyword is not actually, is not in the title, that is meaning title not abstract. So anyhow, So therefore, we have to very, concisely structure the title. It will be completely the whole content of your paper or your thesis is the thesis. So therefore, the title is very important. And then author's name, affiliation, corresponding author, all this you have to put it there. Summarize the major element of the papers. Keywords will be 3 to 5. And introductions. Introductions is for me one of the most important part is in introduction part. Is most important part of the papers is introduction. If you're unable to manage to write a good introductions, your paper get rejected simply. If you're unable, because introduction will tell you the story of the work. So this story, if you're unable to tell the story of the paper through the introduction, then it will be simply rejected. As I'm a reviewer, I'm almost every week I'm getting invitation for Q1 journal, but I cannot do that. So maybe once a month or twice a month. So I normally do review, but I look only just introduction first. I read the introduction. If you feel that it is the originality is there, the introduction will tell me, and then I'll accept it, otherwise reject. Because the editors say clearly instruction that our acceptance is only 10%. Our acceptance is only 20%. So please look at it carefully. If you reject, you just reject it. Because they will be happy if you reject. They will be more happy than if you reject it. But if you accept, you have to a lot of defending when to do that. A lot of comments you have to write. But if the originality is not in the instructions, you are unable to identify the gap, research gap, then is sure it will be go for rejections. Even the editorial board, only they read only the title and the introduction. From there, they conclude it. They not move on to the methodology, and they not move on to the result discussion and so on. All right. So therefore, I'm coming slightly in details. Slightly is not going through summaries. Result is summary, discussions, interpretation of the findings, conclusion, summary or is answer of your objective or answer of your research questions. Is a conclusion, acknowledgement, anybody relevant to your work in terms of your supports and things on. So we have to acknowledge them. And a proper referencing must be there. Okay, so I'm now going quickly about a title and then so on. So what is a good title? How we define a good title here? Good title is first place, it will not be long title. No, it will be few words, 10 to 15 words only. It's not that your title, when you say 3 line of title, then the impression is already done. Always too long the title. You should not need to write a too long title. It's very catchy, attractive, concisely very attractive, catchy. And everything when I write the title and go the objective, I say objective is different, what does the title say? So it's meaning always write, please modify the title, it will be modified based on your objectives, based on our entire content of your report or of your thesis, of your papers or so on. So therefore, title should be attractive simply. Should be attractive that the readers will read the title and will be okay, this is fine, good, it's a good title. So we have to look at this thing, indexing, abstracting. Why? Because as I mentioned before, is if you search or any indexing, abstracting based on the title. Construction, article, significant impact, citations is all actually the title. When I personally search, I just look at first the title. If I found the title, this keyword is only the title. If not, then I'll go for abstract, interest in other things and so on. But people, first observation is they look at the title. If you have good title, also it will be increase the visibility, increase your citation. Even though one of the research says citation also increase, it's related to the titles. Even there is a research published. So therefore, title is one of the important that you have to find a very concise, informative, concise and catchy title. You have to anything. If you have a project, you have papers, you have thesis. Even though our research grant also same. Research grant says if research grant title is not attractive, they just reject from the title. Okay, abstract in sense is just a summary of the work. Summary of the work, but how to summarize it, we have to know about it. First few lines we have to define. It's depend on journal actually. Some journals they ask straight go to your objective. Straight objective. Some journal has 150 words, only 150 words. So if you 150 words, you cannot tell a story, what is the background. But of course, in introduction, you have already the background. You have background, you have problem statement, you have research questions in the introductions, and then objective. And after objective, then methodology, then research, then findings. After findings and conclude. So that's the standard content should be in the abstract, especially for thesis. You must have to follow the background, problem statement, objective, method, result, significant conclusion. All this is a PhD thesis, master's thesis, or any final year student. If you have final student, will have to that one. But for papers case, papers is if it is let's say some journal is 100 words, so we don't need actually to, because they know about my background and promise to in details in introduction. So they said that you don't need to repeat again here. So therefore they go straight objective. What is your objective? And tell us about your methods, what methods you use, and what is the findings, and how to conclude there. So therefore it's depend on what type of journal I'm publishing. But all journals actually basically they're looking about informative, indicative, and reflect the main content of the article. That's the main thing. Concise, accurate, informative, as I mentioned before. Quick idea of the content, what and how was done, provide a brief conclusion. So that should be to make the attractive abstract. If not there, is not considered as attractive. So and another thing that abstract is not writing from beginning. Even the thesis writing, even the examination. When I'm an examiner of even PhD thesis, so we discuss about abstract at the end of defense. When a student is completely finish the defense, then at the end we come and okay, let's see the abstract. How is it? Is it okay or not? Is there any comments from the abstract? Similarly, in the paper, you will write when you have introductions, methodology, result discussion, conclusion, and all the content of the papers. You finish it, then you come back and now you have to summarize your whole thing, because this is abstract is the summary of your entire content of the papers. So if the paper is not complete, how can we write the abstract? You cannot write that. So therefore, abstract should be written at the end of the writing. Introductions, as I mentioned, for me personally, I personally feel introduction is one of the most important part to. I'm talking about quality journals. I'm talking about impact factor journal. I'm talking about high impact journal. So therefore, when you're talking about impact factor journal or high quality journal, definitely introduction is a number one point to sell. I'm just simply say selling. You are selling your content to the readers, at this point to the reviewers, to how it is good. So therefore, introductions, you have to know how to write introductions. Introduction should have, from beginning, you should have your problems, your background. Few lines, one paragraph will be your background with problem statement. Very concisely, you have to write what's problem is going on, what is the issues, what is the problem is going on, what the scenario currently. We have to tell the story within one paragraph. It's not easy, but we have to tell. If not, I personally not satisfied sometimes. So no, the introduction is not up to date, up to my satisfaction level. So please, again, you rewrite your introduction. So if the editors, reviewers, and readers, these three things read the paper, especially these actions coming from this point. Brief background, you have, as I mentioned, rational current study, integrated review of the relevant works. I want to see the student or the papers actually, cite all the relevant articles. If I just suddenly search in Scribus and I found still published few papers, but it's not actually cited by this article is going to publish. So it means it's not acceptable. You have to be up to date. As I mentioned from beginning, every month, any issue published, when I was from early my career, I was just waiting when this journal will publish an issue. Even though when I just publish issue, immediately I go within just 1 hour quick review. If it is relevant, I send to the student. I just brought to the link to the student. Please check whether any relevant article to you or not. So therefore, you have to be up to date. If any article missing, I'm talking about all this established database. I'm a reviewer. I'll not go also in any Google Scholar, Google Scholar database. I'll go to Web of Science example. So therefore, you're missing Web of Science article too, and then how we can actually, you are not up to date, you're not serious, simply. So therefore, the review of relevant works must be up to date in your introductions. Research gap. What has done actually? What are the other people have done and what is the limitations that is still not? Is it advancing the knowledge? Advancing knowledge is going on. So therefore, a gap is always, I say there is no gap. There is no, what will do? Are you repeating the research? You should identify a gap. How to identify the gap? Summarize all existing research and then found that this research has done this, research has done this is blah, blah, blah. So then this work is not done. So I can contribute this gap within my study. So this study, this paper is simply contributing or fulfill this gap. And as a reviewer, I can find that yes, this is a gap, and your work is fulfilling that gap. That's enough. That's actually is a proof of your originality and novelty. Okay, so this we have to clear. So in the paper, you have to write your background, problem statement, and then all these up-to-date reviews, and then at the end is coming your objective. You can see the last paragraph. Last paragraph is coming to the objective. What is the objective? Therefore, this study aims to study blah, blah, blah. It's like this. We write to say, therefore, is meaning you justify everything. You find out your problems, you find out your issues, you overview of the current scenario, and then you highlighted all the relevant articles done, and you identify the gap, and you fulfill your gap, and then therefore to fulfill gap, you have done this study. And what is the method you use very concisely, and what is the principle or what is the main result, key results of these investigations or in this research, and then you have to very quickly, few sentences you have to elaborate it. So that's about it, the introductions, and that is a selling point, simply is a selling point. If you are unable to sell here, is get rejected. Methodology here is now challenging because methods is the established methods is already well established in the literature, so we have to refer it. If it is new method, we have to go more details to elaborate more things. It's not just a I just put just cut and paste and do and things there. So it's not. So you have to present the method based on, because the literature, if the method is not yours, it's others, but it's still the presentations of writing. Otherwise, it will be another plagiarism will be there. So there will be a check, cross check of plagiarism, similarity check will be there. So therefore, we have to have things your own. So therefore, but if you have a new method, you have to go details. If it is existing method, we are referring to the method, so we have to write a reference, proper reference. If you have any type of equipment, chemicals, anything that we have to write, immediately you have to write who is the manufacturer, what is the model. Because sometimes equipment to equipment is the same equipment, but different manufacturer has the different result. It's not the same result. Maybe there will be some error, 5-10% error. As you know that examples like world-class manufacturer. So like my case is bioreactor. I'm working on the bioreactor. So bioreactor is all leading manufacturer is a B. Braun in German technology. And we have bioengineering Switzerland example. So if I know that this equipment is the B. Braun, so according to the brand name itself, I know it's established already. Even the reviewers and then publishing papers, and then you have analytical analysis using some analytical sophisticated equipment. You are using, let's say, you're using GCMS example, gas chromatography, latest model of gas chromatography. So it is the reliability of the data is there. So therefore, we have to write what is the manufacturer on that particular case. Measuring conditions, we have to write measurement conditions, if standard, give reference, if new or modified, or provide details. If it is something new, or that provide. If not, then just put it as a reference. This method is according to A et al. Or A or something, right? That's it. You don't need to write details. But if you say you already modified on that particular method, then you have to write with modifications. What modification you have to write? Okay? Or if not, then put in more details on that. The detail will be next time, because what problem is there? The author, they just cite on reference. And we'll go back to the reference, there we don't find anything about it. So these are cited and there is no relevant things, or still the information is not complete, what you have done actually. So therefore, what you have done, if that previous cited author is done completely, is fine, because we are helping to the next author who want to read my article and cite it, and it will be helpful. It's not just you cite and without any help. So therefore, we have to give more detail. Nothing harm here if you put in more details, but it is also unnecessary that if it's there, that it is previous paper that we cited, no need. If not, then put in more details. It will be useful for the further readers, further authors that want to publish papers. Number of sample tested, reproducibility, data generated, collected, aspiration of the data, statistical analysis, you have modeling simulation. So that's all these things, modern tools, statistical analysis, what type of modern tools we use, apparently different types of software, like, different types of programming also. So we have to indicate things, because nowadays is a lot of modern tools is going on to analyze the data. Data analysis is important. So therefore, we want to see what you have done, what type of programming you use to analyze this data. So that is very, very important. So in the methodology, but in sense, methodology is what? Methodology is the method to fulfill your objective. What is objective? How to, your objective, let's say I want to achieve something. So how to achieve? I want to achieve something, how to achieve that? So the methodology will tell you that, okay, this is a guideline simply. It's a guideline. Let's say I want to go from here to there. How to go there? Then it is car, it is walk, or it is bicycle, or what? How want to go and how to go. So there's all these directions will tell you in your methods how you achieve the objectives. How you achieve the objectives. One, everything have to be very clear. One to one, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples. So this is the starting point and then the ending point. Within these steps, I can achieve my objective. So that is, you have to clearly tell this story about your methods. Results, okay, results is basically, that's not much. For me, I say results is not challenging parts here. Results and discussion, some paper, they ask result and discussion together. Mostly actually, more than 90% of the journal, they ask result and discussions. But I put it separate because of to explain to more details on that. Results is basically simply summary of your findings. What you got it in terms of table, figure, modeling, simulations, whatever is transformed into the results, into the formations like tables, figures, or analysis, or statistical analysis, or whatever sort of the method that you use it. So we just need to summarize it. Summarization is a what did you find example. So you have to tell what did you find here. What should answer all the points, raise the method. So what methods say I have done this. So is it, you get it the result? You say I have done this, I need to do these things is this way. So maybe you get the result. So if results are how to present it then. Should present result but not comment on the findings. So findings, you not comment, interpretation is the next part, is discussion part. But here is you have to write the descriptions of the findings. Summary of the findings and descriptions of the findings in terms of figures, in terms of table, as I mentioned. No mismatch, the numbers between text tables. So sometimes we put it, table number 2, but refer to table number 1. So these types of error, you have to be careful. Numbering of the tables, numbering of the figures, citing in the text must be appropriate. No error at all. No repetitions between text and table. Sometimes we have tables and also we put it figure. Same data. No duplications. It's not allowed actually. No repetitions of the data. You have table and table. Which one you want to more comfort? You want to explain to the readers in table form or the figure form? As a author, as a student, as an author, we understand about it. That okay, how is the better presentations in terms of table, in terms of figure? Either one. No, it doesn't mean, even though many theses I found clear table and also the figure, same data. It is not. It will be, is limit your acceptance. Result section is written in the past and present tense. It could not be any future tense. Sometimes still will be, you are using the will still maintains, meaning you are not serious about it. Why is will? You have done. If your proposal states is will, but it's done already, the work is done. So either we say is or was done. So therefore we have to use either, and consistent. The grammar must be consistent. If you present it, write present tense. If it's past tense, write past tense. Okay? You write the passive or active. All this actually must be consistent. Do not describe method that already been described in the method. Sometimes when I start the reading of result, again the method is explained. Student explain again. Few lines they say no. Completely say you don't need to again describe the method. Method is already in the methodology. We have that. So therefore, we don't need to describe again method. So no repetitions of method in result discussion, result sections. Discussion part, as I say, result discussion, most of the paper is combined. We finish the result, then second paragraph, we discuss this, interpretation of the data. What might be the hardest section? You say, this is the hardest sections. This another selling point. Another selling point is here is the discussion part, interpretations, how to interpret. Because data, I'm a chemical engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. Everybody were using design of experiment, example, statistical analysis, optimizations. So all actually, as I'm chemical engineer, also same DOE I'm using, electrical engineer also using. So how you interpret the data to your area, to your field, to your findings. So that is important. Sometimes the scanning electron microscopy pictures, the pictures will tell you what. When I see a picture, it's SEM picture, SEM photo, the photo will not tell you anything. Otherwise, if we interpret, what is this figure is going on. So therefore, discussion part is one of the another difficult part that you need to sell yourself to, because the good journal, they are looking about interpretation of the data. If it's a critical review, it's a critical discussion, critical review, in this particular case, should be answer the questions. You have to answer the question in the introduction. What is your research question in introduction? You have to answer in discussion section. You say, what does mean is this? How this process is working? So then you have a question that this process is working successful. So you have to answer here, yes, this process is working, and how it is working, what is the findings, and how to prove your findings to the scientific content. Concisely summarize interpretation of the result, show your results and interpretation agree and contrast with the previous published work. There is one other leg here. Sometimes we say similar works, simply students write the similar work is found, or similar work is found by another court. What do you mean about similar work or previous work? It is similar to the previous work. What do you mean about it? What is previous work? I don't know personally as a reviewer. I'm a reviewer, I don't know what is the previous work. You have to write, but it is a common statement of the 80% author when you write a paper, they quote like that. So similar findings is found in this article. This article what? So therefore, we have to be interpretation with the previous published work, what they have done and what I have done, how I interpret them. Even though your findings is completely different, it's not supported with other work, but we need to have a very strong justification, strong interpretations to claim your novelty. It doesn't mean that this work has done, so this work has limitation. This is what I have, my methods, my thing is not exactly the same, but I got this one. So why you got this one? So we need a very strong scientific justifications, interpretation to claim it. So this is the way actually we have to defend. Actually, the discussion part is very, very important and always like. In my personal experience is this is one of the big lack of writing of discussion part. We are not actually concentrating. We're not giving much time here. We have to give time. We have to read all the articles, relevant articles on that particular findings, carefully read what they achieve it and what I achieve, and how I interpret this achieve with them, and so on. It's not just similar result. If it's similar result, so what is the advancement of the knowledge to the scientific, scientific community? So what? So therefore, we have to be very carefully to discuss about it, and that is one of the selling point for me. One of the selling point I say is introduction. The second selling point of your defending to whether it is, because sometimes we, as a reviewer, as I'm a reviewer of many Q1 journals, so I go through the introduction, I'm satisfied. But when I come to the result, I was very disappointed. I'm satisfied until the introduction, and come to the result part and discussion part is very disappointing. The way of writing, the way of defending, or you claim it, the originality. You say it's original, fine, it's get to find, but when it's unable to identify, unable to get the findings according to what actually say in your introduction, but it's not connecting. Or even though connecting, but you are unable to organize your data, presentations. You are unable to scientifically not unable to present your data to the thesis. So therefore also can be get rejections. So therefore, every steps when we talking about quality journals, so every step we have to be very careful. Okay, conclusion part is, we always say the conclusion is answer of your objective, or answer your research questions, or answer of your problems. What you say, your research questions, that you have to answer. What objective you say, you have to answer in your conclusion. See the summary of major findings. We have to summarize of the major findings. It's not repeating of abstract and conclusion. Sometimes we say, I got optimization value of this temperature, this specific number. Same thing is in the abstract. No, it's not. What is the contribution? How your findings contribute? That we have to conclude here. It's not just, again, I'm repeating the numbers. It's number. We don't need number here. Number, you can put it in your abstract. But here we have to summarize the major findings. Basically, we are answering our objective. What I say to achieve it, and how I achieve here, I have to conclude here. Okay? Answer to the problems, I say research questions and something. Acknowledgement, all the people's grants, the people may be helping to write or improve your English exam. Also, you spend your friends. You ask your friends, say, friend, can you just check my manuscript, whether it is English correction or not? And then you just acknowledge him that you help me to improve the writing, writing skill or something. So therefore, any sort of agencies, companies, labs, technicians, equipment, culture, whatever is relevant, we have to acknowledge, proper acknowledgement. Is nothing harmful to the acknowledging. Just we have to write to, we are thankful to this, and blah, blah, this. So therefore, acknowledgement, we have to go proper referencement and reference citations. Reference list, sometimes one of the problems of reference list is what, even though, even I'm supervising and we are publishing, even though it is accepted, when it is accepted, go to the production department in that particular journal, and when they come back to the proofread, as a proofread of the journal, final stage of your, then we saw many comments on there that your journal is not cited. This journal is missing. This journal is cited but not in the reference. This journal is referenced but not in the citation. So this type of inconsistency of the citations and the list is very careful. Even though when I review the journal, I review the thesis, I write just one comment. Please check your citation. All cited articles, cited references must be listed in this list. So therefore, you have to be carefully cross-check. All the cited reference must be listed. All the listed reference must be cited. So there is a vice versa. We have to be careful about it. This is something. And of course, it's up to date. As I was from beginning, I say we must have to be up to date. What is published by in June, if it is database, if you say no, June is just started, or June is, even though not June, 2023, if you go to some journals, already 2023, 2023 is published already. 2023 published. It's not only 2022, 2023 also published. So therefore, database is very strong. You cannot claim that, even though some article I found, there are cite 2023 citation is there. So therefore, we have to up to date on that particular case of reference. Must be accurate, complete, and consistency and format. Of course, the journal, you have to follow strictly the journal format. Every journal has different format. You cannot find same format with each journal. Each journal has their own format of writing style of the reference. So we have to follow. Okay, and not many self-citations. This is one of the things. People are now increasing the citation. One of the things is self-citation. If you cited your own papers, it's published and you get citation. But now journal also, the publisher also is very smart now. They just, even though they say you cannot cite self-citation, maybe 2% or only 1 or 2, something like that. Even though if they found it a self-citation, because this editorial point, but for publishing point, they already say that they will not actually much consider about self-citation. Before it was, but nowadays, no, you have to reduce our self-citations because this is one of the ways that you can increase your citations of self-citation. So therefore, in database, if you have a citation report, like your Scopus, you have citation index, you have Hayes index and citation, total citation report. How many self-citation you have, how many percentage of self-citation, you can extract it. And when you extract, let's say 30% of self-citation, is meaning 30% of the papers you cite yourself, and 70% is yours. So it's not good actually. So therefore, better to not cite on, if it is really relevant and you need it, other information is not there, then only you can cite it. Okay, so criteria for acceptance. Okay, now come to quickly the acceptance criteria. Of course, originality, novelty must be there. New important research findings, scientific quality, experimental design, methodology, data presentation, clarity of the presentation. So this is already, I already discussed about a good quality of article. So all these points actually is in line with also acceptance. So if it is accepted, it's not there. So I'm talking about how to write a good quality of article, and that the quality of the things is not there. So it is very difficult to get accepted. So therefore, it will not be accepted. Therefore, we see that those who are planned to publish high impact, and immediately editorial bodies rejected your article. So you feel very sad because you never speak these things, but it is happening. You have to get ready to accept these things, and you have to further improvement. There will be sometimes the problem is where editorial board is reject the papers without any justification. Justification like that. Justification like is that we are receiving numbers of quality articles, so your quality is not that level. It's very difficult how to justify. They say numbers of article, your quality is not that level, so it's rejected. So therefore, it's difficult sometimes, but good. But don't worry about it. If it is not this article, Q1 also, as they mentioned, Q1 also, hundreds of the Q1 journal in your area, or maybe 10 journal of Q1 or Q2 or and you just start Q1. If not Q1, you feel 2, 3 is still not, then go to Q2 and so on. But for me, I always suggest students, especially for PhD work, you have to manage JCR publication, Journal Citation Report, mean index journal publication. You have to manage. This is your work. This is the highest good quality work in your life. Even though when you will be the professor, you cannot get your student will work and you work as a team. But this is your work. You are doing yourself. And that's the best work in your life. If you miss this opportunity in your life next stage, you will be regret because this is, you are doing that and you feel that. So therefore, your own work, you have to find the way you can do as much as you can do it. But when you be a professor, the things students work together as a team. But even though it is, you cannot manage, what actually you want because it's not your work. You are working as a team. So therefore, the PhD level, those who are working, so you try to find as much as you can manage, at least impact factor journal. I always say at least impact factor journal. This is because after that, whatever you do is different, but at least you can manage your PhD numbers of impact factor journal, quality journal. That will be the feasibility or visibility, all will be improve your citation. So the career actually start from the PhD. Master's is trained of research, how to do research, the knowing research is the master's level. But once you have PhD, is meaning the real research is start from PhD level. That you have to take this opportunity to visualize yourself, how to increase the citations. If you have not published, if you look at the track record of the academic, even the staff, those who are quality, if you feel that somebody has high citation, is meaning he has high quality publication, simply. If say citation is poor, is meaning he has not much quality publication. So they're actually connected. All right, so there is some criteria of rejections. I check the time. What is the time now?
Prof, you can take time, no problem, sir. But you
Yeah.
take the time within a short.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thank you.
So here we have, I categorize 3 here. 3 categories to rejections. One is technical committee. If you have incorrect formatting, so technical committee reject your article simply. Now come to, if you correct everything, go to the editorial board. Editorial board, the members of the editorial board, they look at it in appropriate scope and audience. So if your scope is not there, they immediately say, oh, sorry, your article is not within the scope of our journal, so rejected. And lack of novelty. Until here, they look lack of the novelty. That's why they go through the introductions. They look at the introductions and they feel that there's not enough novelty, so they'll reject it. If it is passed from editorial board, they will send to the reviewers. So what reviewer actually looking for? Oh, sorry, there is some other. Okay, another editorial board also look plagiarism. They are now every editors. If you submit your article, it will go through, and then if the similarity index is high, so it will be rejected. It will be rejected, or sometimes it's not rejected. They return to you. I feel that it's still the quality article, but there is some similarities exceed their similarity. So they will return to you and ask you to reduce it if it is just from writing the English. And another is the limited impact and urgency, meaning it's a very high quality article, but the impact is not that high, but focus is not there. Currently people are looking some other thing, audience is not aware, not urgency, so something like that. If not, then also they can reject on that. And come to the reviewer from beginning, as I mentioned earlier also, is look at problems, research questions and gap. If unable to do that, so it's reject. Inadequate literature citation. As I mentioned from beginning that if it is not up to date, as I'm a reviewer, I can reject because you're not up to date. You're not serious about it. It's still numbers of paper is published and you're not cited. And you're not cited meaning your knowledge is not up to date. And what you are justifying, the gap of the research is not there because still you don't know other 3-4 papers published and you don't know what they're doing and what they have done. And you don't have that idea. So it is called inadequate literature citation. So therefore, all the cited papers should be up to date. Otherwise, it will be rejected. Methodology flows also, it will be, if the methodology is not accurately, correctly done, not proper citations, not proper way of the designing, your wrong design, you have design of estimate is wrong, your parameter is selected, it is not justified. So if any flows in methodology, it will be rejected. Research data not sufficient. I find that everything is fine, but data is not sufficient to claim that. So therefore, also will be rejections. Conclusion not supported by the data. So when you conclude it is not supported by the data. So these types of some of the points is not say this is just examples. No? So you have to keep in your mind to improve how to all these points. It's a major point. It's still a lot of points there to get sections, but it is just some outline, major points, you can say, major points to be considered. Your paper could be improved based on these points. And if you improve, let's say there is no lack of problems, so you very well define the problems, discuss questions and the gaps, and up-to-date reference. And then you have, oil design methods. You have nicely presented. Your interpretation is very defending. So all these things you can feel that it will be published. Not maybe the journal is reject, but similar journal. It doesn't mean that is a one Q1 journal is reject and it is you will be disappointed. No, you can go to another Q1, go another Q1, another Q1. Maybe at least you can check 3 Q1s. If reject, then go to the Q2, check the Q2. So, but don't give up. My first PhD student in 2009. He published the first article is a Q1 journal. He published numbers of journals. So the last article, I just tell the story. The last journal is rejecting, but we are not giving up from the impact factor journal. 8 times rejections, 8 times. 9 times is accepted by Q4 journal. One of the journal, Q4 Journal of Food Technology, is a Q. That time was Q4. Now it's a Q2 or maybe Q1. So this journal is accepted 9 times. So therefore, your article doesn't disappoint. Is not mean my article not published. You have to find the right somewhere. Somebody will there. You will publish it, but you have to find it. Where is it? No, don't disappoint. So that was one of my first PhD student. I feel proud that he was not give up the things easily. He tried. 8, 9 times he managed to publish. So therefore, you have to be, it's not just one article rejected, 2 articles rejected, your 2 journal rejected, and then immediately you take decision. No, I'll go Scopus index is enough. If you feel that your article is up to date, is very good, just keep trying to publish high impact. Okay, another thing, the last part of this part, I have second part, I'll go share with you quick in database, maybe another 10-15 minutes. Ethics in scientific writing. That is very, very important in academia. The ethical values of this scientific writing is very important. Nobody can challenge you. If you can do something, your writing or your data alternation, as I put it here, nobody can challenge you. How can I challenge that this data is not correct? So therefore, we have to follow ethics. We have to be honest. We cannot do any other things. Authorship issue. We're always fighting authorship issue. Student will be the first author. Supervisor will be the first author. We will be the first author. For me, I always say student will be the first author. Student is a student who works. Student will be the first author, then supervisors and so on. It's different. Malaysia, we're considering the supervisor is the second author. In Japan, the last author. Supervisors of the leading papers, corresponding author. So I personally say I'll be the corresponding author. Because why I'm corresponding author? Because if you live here, if any query, anything happen, is actually they directed to me. Because this research is supported by research grant or university grant or this national grant, whatever is supported by, and I'm holding that, so I'll be the corresponding author. The student will be the first author, and I'll be the corresponding author as the second. For Japan or some cases, but I know about the Japan will be the last author. Corresponding will be the last author. The key author will be the last author. So it depends on how we can entertain. But authorship sometimes, you exclude, even though your supervisor's committee there, but you just put it your supervisor, not co-supervisor. So also you have to discuss with the supervisors. Authorship should not be the issue. Sometimes we put some your friend name. It's also not ethical, simply. You cannot put it just your friend's name. What is his contribution of? Maybe he helped you to read your manuscript, to improve the English. So just acknowledge in the acknowledgement, but not the authorship. Authorship should have the significant contribution to that paper. So this is one of the trend we have. We just write our friend's name. Sometimes we write our relatives' name, friends. We write wife's name, husband names, brother's name, sister's name. So it's not actually. It should not be. But ethical point of view, no. If it is significantly contribute professionally, then you can. But if you otherwise, we just write. For my case, I just tell you how when I'm doing PhD, my colleague, I have another co-worker with my PhD and same supervisor, but we are working same project. We are working same project. First part is me, second part is his. So he's sharing with me the data. But then supervisors say, okay, as you are interconnected, same project, two parts you are working, and both we know what you're doing, and we're sharing our everything. So therefore, we go for combined publications. You can see here, I published 12 articles from my PhD findings, and he published 8. So combinedly, we have 20 publications. This is valid because we discuss supervisors and we are connecting, we work each other. Because the same project, we work, first part, we are data sharing. So therefore, this is allowed, and we manage 20 impact journal, 20 impact journal, high impact journal, once we finish our PhD. All right, so therefore, authorship is there. Acknowledgement must be properly acknowledged. Acknowledge the grant finding, falsifications, data alternation. That's the answer. These blue two colors is very, very important. Falsifications, anything false information, you can put it there, and data alternation, you change the data. We sometimes we can cook the data. So this is, nobody can challenge simply, but you have to be honest. If you cannot get the data, keep trying to get the things done. Other side, oh, I'm disabled, so you don't create this. But this is completely is issues actually. The ethical issues, honesty must be maintained. Plagiarism is, of course, similarities, of course, it's now, there is no way. You have to caught with from beginning by the editorial committee. Duplications, manuscripts, sometimes same manuscript, just change a little bit and you submit it. Sometimes you submit two journals together. A journal say, you cannot submit, if you submit this journal, you cannot submit to parallel another journal. You have to write a statement. But you submit it still because you say, oh, this is rejected, then I'll get published another one maybe. So it's not also, it's also ethical issues. Unnecessary self-citation, unnecessary. If it is mandatory, you have to cite my article. I need to cite it, otherwise it not fulfilled because of there is no other findings. It's published in the journal. So therefore I need my self-citation. That's why it's unnecessary self-citations. It's not also, it's concerned about ethical things. Author conflict of interest. That's I say you can put it your friend's name, wife name, husband names, relative names to increase the publications, other side. You give me my name and I give you your names, So it should not, it's also ethical concern. So this type is very, very important. This is the last slide of this part. Then we are moving to the next slide is how to get published high impact. So I want to share with you here some database that will help you to those who are studying career. As I'm saying that is a train, it's not a one-day process, it's a train. Those who are undergraduate, you're doing the FIP project. So FIP project, how to transform into papers, how to present a paper to the conference. So they're training to, how to start writing at least conference paper. Once you have undergraduate, you have masters, then you start to write at least 1 or 2 papers, you published it. So then when you start to publish, then you have to know about what modern database, current database is going on and how you can get it, how I start writing with some good papers, how to find it. So therefore, I want to share with you here how to write a good article or how to find a good article, good journals to write the papers. Okay, choose the right journal. So how to choose the right journal? You can go to the journal website and you can look at their aims and scope. Sometimes we found that the scope is there, but still editors say, no, it is not within the scope. It means they're not interested to publish. Even the scope is there, but still writing, it is not within the scope of our journal. Maybe they are looking more relevant, very straightforward, the topic relevant to them, but it's not maybe. So therefore, again, we have to check the aim and scope. If you can find in the journal website, that particular journal website, you go there and see what is their aim, type of article, who is the readership, what type of article is published. If you're, sometimes the aim is there, but you can check the current content. You found that few content is nothing article is within your article, though its scope is there. Then you feel that maybe my reader might not be interested because my article, relevant article, is not publishing last 1 year. 12 issues you check and you cannot find a single article relevant to your paper. So therefore, why you are going this type of, because readers will not be interested in your article, because only one article within 12 issues will search that. So therefore, we have to look at the readership who is reading actually these things. Current hot topics, any hot topics is going on review of the abstract of the recent publication. What you can do, we just look at title and the abstract to find the right journal on that particular case. Okay, there is some questions here. Is there journal peer reviewed? You have to keep in your mind. Is it, say yes. Peer review means the journal must be reviewed. It's not without review. Without reviewing publishing is meaning they are not maintaining that. Peer review is meaning they send to some expert and the expert is reviewed. This is called peer review. So it must be review process. Who are the editorial board? Have you seen editorial board? When you find a journal, look at the editorial board. From where they are? What is their identity? If the quality editorial board is not there, so they cannot maintain the journal quality. Who is the journal's audience? Who is the reader's journal audience? What is the journal impact factor? So nowadays easy, we are just looking for impact factor. We are impact factor, if impact factor, Q1, Q2, ranking of this. So therefore, nowadays is more easy to find a journal. Just go to the database and check if you high quality, it's a Q1. What type of Q1 journal relevant to yours, list down. What is the Q2 journal relevant to your list down. What is Q3 and put it your own database, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. This is my relevant article, relevant to my research. All these 20 journals, these 5 Q1, 10 Q2, or maybe 5 Q3, something like that. So you can just organize it according to your target. And then from there, I always ask my student, can you give me a database? What is the relevant article in your area, in your topics, relevant topics to your area? Please give me a database to me, then I keep it. And next time, when you want to publish, so I'll check it, and time to time we update it. If I get something relevant, I'll just put there. So therefore, there will be a database system among you and your supervisors, and should be fine to search. Sometimes we want to propose a reviewer, so immediately we can go to that relevant article, relevant journal, science their article, and find who is the author there, and put as a proposed reviewer names. Choose the right journal, selections of suitable journal by impact factor, as I mentioned. So this is one of the most things. So this impact factor is currently Scopus and ISI index. These two things, and you will get it journal citation report. Previously, IIUM was a subscribed journal citation report, but nowadays we stop it by journal citation report. So, but if other institution, any other place, you can get it. But it's very, very important. I was using this journal citation report, and I found a lot of things from here too. All right, so this citation impact, you see, reviewer journal is the highest number citation, highest is reviewer, and then the article, and then notes is very short notes, and then article. So reviewer is a far citation thing about, if you write one review papers, it will be the highest visibility of your citations. Okay, right, I just share, you know already about it, Scopus index journal. So if you find the Scopus index journal, you just go to the Scopus, the index journal, and then you want to check is here, the Scopus, just click the Scopus, and you can find the Scopus list. But at this point, I'm in home, so it is not, it is, I cannot subscribe from here unless I go off. So this is the Scopus. So if you here, you can find all this relevant information here. Or another thing is that you can see here the Shimago. Shimago is one of the now linked to the Scopus. You can find, even sometimes you don't know what is the Scopus index. So then if you can go, Shimago pronunciation is some say Simago or Isimago. So it's like that. So here, like examples, you write here IIUM Engineering Journal. This is our engineering journal. So I'm just searching here IIUM Engineering Journal, right? So if I just search here IIUM Engineering Journal, it is, I have to check whether it is Scopus or not. If I just click here, if it is Scopus index, you can see here IIUM Engineering Journal here. So it's meaning this is Shimago rank, journal rank here. So it's meaning this is Scopus index. So any journal, if somebody say, this is Scopus index journal, immediately just type here and check it out here. So these are shimago.com, shimagojr.com. You can search this website and just write the journal. Any journal if you write here, then you can find it. You can find here. We'll say resource technology. If I just search here, I just write a journal name and I can check. Yeah, this is bioresource technology. Is it UK probably Elsevier is handling? So everything you are getting here. Water research. But you have to write if you have any error spelling, so you just make corrections. Yeah, so you see water research, this is the #1 journal in water resources. So these types of, if you come back to here, so if you go to Shimago, immediately this is helpful. So if you don't know about it, just you go shimago.com, shimagojr.com, this link, and you can search any name. If it is not listed, even though they will show you, just even though here, if you click there, you will get the whole story of what is the high. You see the Hayes index here? Hayes index is 327. It's Hayes index, and this the story of all this you can find it here. Under the scuba journal, and then all there is the full actually the data is here, so you can find what is what is the similar area, how many percentage of they published, everything. You can find all the data. If you are interested, you can see the whole record of the journals, how it's performing. I mean, also in Shimago has Q1, Q2. Sometimes some students say, well, Q1. I say, what? Q1? I said, Q1 what? What is journal? Then say I found, it is Q1 is Shimago ranking. It's not JCR ranking. JCR is journal citation report. That is for impact factor. But here is only the index, Scuba's index. Scuba's index Q1 and JCR Q1 is different, completely different. It's part difference is there. Because this is just a Scuba's index. So some journals just launched last 5 years and they got Q2. And that Q2 is not JCR. Q2 is very, very tough to publish it. So therefore, you can check this Q1. If you write in bracket, it's Scopus Q1. It's not Q. Q1 is JCR, or you can say Shimago. Q2 is a Shimago. Shimago ranking. It's not a JCR ranking. Okay, so right. So I'm going back to. All right. Okay, I'm here. All right, now the second part, if you say Scuba, second part is a JCR, Journal Citation Report. Journal Citation Report, how from here is Shimago, or any journal if you write here, you can find whether it is Scuba's index or not. Now the Web of Science, you want to check the Web of Science, it's called Master List. Web of Science Master List, just click here, this link. You just click here that your article, your journal that you want to publish, it is Master List of Web of Science or not. If not, then if someone say, no, this one impact factor journal, sir, immediately check here. Is it impact factor? If impact factor journal, it will be here. I'm writing here IIUM Engineering Journal. Okay, search. Okay, you see IIUM Engineering Journal. Okay, look at here, IIUM Engineering Journal. Okay, so the publisher is School of Engineering. Okay. And then the status is here, Emerging Source Citation Index. Emerging Source Citation Index means it is a prerequisite. It's meaning it's not citation. It's called Science Citation Index. Science Citation Index is meaning it's impact factor. If you expanded Science Citation Index, is impact factor. But if not, Emerging Source means it is in queue. It is in queue, is some prerequisite. Like prerequisite means you have to fulfill to this prerequisite and you will move to the next time and it will be impact factor. Currently, it's not sufficient to have a impact factor. Therefore, they put it another pool called Emerging Sources Citation Index. Many journals in Malaysia here, but our IIUM journal is in process to be expanded citation index because our citation is not up to date, their mark. So therefore, it's not happening yet. But we can find at least the status. Okay, I'm going back, or I'm writing here again. Okay, I'm writing here water research. Okay, you see the water research, Science Citation Index expanded. It's meaning is a citation. This article has citation, but you cannot find is not found here. If you say it's not here, then it's meaning that it is not Web of Science article. Somebody, if you say someone say, oh, my article I published in Web of Science. Okay, just click here, and you can find it. It is Web of Science, or you want to publish it. So just click here that article, and you can find the status of here. So which type of things is here? It is, if you have Science Citation Index, is meaning, say, impact factor journal. This is impact factor journal, definitely it's impact factor journal. Okay, but if you have emerging citations, is emerging category, then it will be still not yet, but it will be in future. It will be future, still you can publish it because honey is already in the pool, so it will be in future. So now what we learn here, we can check at least two databases that you want to publish on the Scopus database. This is the Shimago. We can check whether it is Scopus index or not, and then Web of Science. This is called Master List, Journal Master List. We can check, and we can find out whether it is Master List or not, is Web of Science listed or not. So from these two, we can actually claim our publications. Okay, so there's the index. So quickly, already I mentioned this one. This is the Scopus. You can search here your authorship, your articles, your journals, everything. This is the Shimago, as I say, journal citation report, master list. Okay, journal citation report is meaning is a summary. Is a summary of the ranking. Is a Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. How you know that? Q1, Q2, Q3 from journal citation report. When you write, let's say water research. If you write the water research in this journal citation report, so it will come out with all the data and including Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So all this data actually we can extract from journal citation report. So journal citation will be provide quantitatively tools for ranking, evaluations, categorizing, comparing which area it is Q1. Which sometimes it is Q1 of this area, but Q2 is other area. Also, you will come to know that. And this one also will give you the social citation index and science citation index, SCI and SSCI. You'll get it. Help in determining the publication impact and influence the global research community and widely accepted this JCR. So JCR is the high quality one. High impact factor. Now impact factor. High impact factor journal is always frequent. As I mentioned, is a citation. If you want to improve the citation, you have to publish high impact journal. If high impact, not high impact, citation will be is a connected. High impact journal are one which have high frequency of citations. But is a debate also there. Some journal, some journal they don't have high citation, high impact factor that journal, but they're very well accepted and high quality journal. They're publishing Lam Society, like British Society or something, American Society of some special society. They have high quality article. They maintain it, but their citation is not much, and their impact factor because impact factor is connected. Next slide. I'll just quickly show you how to calculate the impact factor. Is impact factor and citation is a function. Impact factor is the function of citation. So therefore, they don't have much citation. That's why their impact factor is not that, but they are maintain high quality. So still there is some debate there also. A good high impact journal may publish a paper which have high to zero citation. It doesn't mean that your Q1 journal is publishing. It's meaning that all Q1 journal, all citations is high. No, I say 50% is zero citation. 50% of the article is zero citation. Maybe some article is very high based on readers, based on focus, demand and things and so on. But some article is very low citation, even the zero, there is no citation at all. So therefore, it's not say good high impact journal mean it will be all article will be high citation. Average they're high, but not still some is very high, some is very low. Okay, so impact factor, how to calculate the impact factor? Impact factor actually the 2 year citation, 2 year citations, last 2 years. Let's say I have to publish this year, 2022, then I have to look at 2021 citations, accumulated 2021 citations divided by that 2 years number of publications. This meaning citations and number of publications. Let's say impact factor is 4. 4 means per article citation is 4. Each article average, each article 4 citations. That's the formula of citation in 2016, let's say. It will be 14 and 15, and then 14 and 15 number of articles published. You can find anywhere this calculation. There is some examples we put it. So these two, they are published, so these total numbers, and this is the citation. So they put it numbers, and this is the citation, and this is the publication. So citation over publication. So this is the impact factor is coming. For example, by research technology, this is just example 2015. Okay, Hayes index. How can get it the Hayes index? Hayes index is say when your Hayes index is 10. 10 means your 10 article. At least each article has 10 citations. 10 article, each article has 10 citations. If say you have 10 articles, but one article, number 9 article is 9, so it is not 10 Hayes index or Hayes index. It will be 9. Because all 9 article is fulfilled, because sometimes I have 20, but another article I have 20, but 19 already fulfilled 20, but one is still 18, so I cannot claim. So my index is 19. But once that 18 is reached to 20, that is 19, that reached to 20, then you can claim 20. So 20 Hayes index means 20 article, each of the article, every article at least 10 citation. That is called Hayes index. All right, so G index is also G index 10. Let's say G index means you have 10 publication, but cumulative. This is a cumulative number is 100 citation. I mean, all maybe one is 20, one is less, but cumulatively it is be 100 citation. Then you can claim that a G square. You can claim that it's a 10. All right, so that's about some, because academic career, when you go the further, you go to the master's and PhD and then to academic, you can do, if you think about your Hayes index is one of the point to recognize how you are active in your research. If your Hayes index is high, is meaning your citation is high and you are publishing high impact journals and your citation is increasing. That's why your Hayes index is increasing. You don't need to worry about it, how to increase my Hayes index. No, you don't need to. It will be automatically go. Your job is only publish good papers. That's it. Okay. So the last part, it should be the first part, but this is the last part. PWD journal is called, simply we call blacklist journal. So when you do publication, though I'm putting this is the last slide, but from beginning you have to do this job. You have to click this link, because this is all blacklisted article actually is here, publisher and article. Sorry, publisher and journal. Publisher and journals you can list here. So in this is called bell list. I mean, many of you know about it. So this bell list, if you go to the bell list, you can check first here, because any blacklist journal, if you publish article in blacklist journal, publisher is not recognized in Malaysia, especially Malaysia. I'm not sure about some other place, but it's not. So therefore, you can look at it. All this publisher here, all this publisher, and then you can search specific journals name, like academic journal. I'm telling you about academic journal, even though we are publishing a lot of articles here in 2010 and 11. This academic journal, they have is a African journal. Academic journal is the editorial bodies in Africa. So you can find so many journals, but all there now is a blacklisted. There were, even though high impact journal, high impact factor journal, like for me, I can say about African Journal of Biotechnology. We are publishing here, even though we have numbers of articles we have here, but that time, 2011, it was impact factor 0.6 impact factor, but they are publishing without any review. They're showing that they're reviewing, but actually they're not reviewing. Whatever you submit, you publish. Whatever you submit, you publish, like that. But you have to pay. There's a business, simply. I only put a business, so later on is found that, this Mr. Bell, this is the librarian in UK, one of the university's librarian. So this Bell is actually fined. This also some people are not happy with this. Some publisher really some good, they said. But in a sense, there is some criteria, he put it there, and then he identified all these publishers, and thousands of journals are blacklisted. And Malaysia is just say you can check the bell list. So therefore, you have to check first here. If any article you are going to publish, even though is a Scopus index, even though it is Scopus index, but under this bell list, so please don't try to publish here. So you need to check from beginning here. After pass through from here, then you can go whatever I said according to the quality and things and so on. But you have to check from here in the bell list. And this is my last slide. With that, thank you very much for your listening. And if you have any further, discussion things, I can move on.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much. Prof, could we please take some questions now?
Yeah, we are about to on. Sorry, I took longer
All right,
time.
sir. All right, so let's pick some questions. We can see some questions in our chat box. Dr. Mahmoud, he asks this question: MDPI is a Q1 journal, high impact journal or not?
MDPI, who asked question then?
Is MDPI is Q1 journal or high impact journal?
MDPI is a publisher, so what type of journals we have to know. But most of the MDPI journal is a impact factor journal, even though most of the journal is a Q1. But this is MDPA, as I know. I'm not sure, but they are also very high charts. They're going through the review. They're going through the review. Even though we managed one article this year, but it's a series of reviews there. But I personally feel it's not that much review that if I go without any journal, because they have they are going for open access. They don't need to. We don't need to pay anything. So therefore, they say this is a charge. This service charge or processing fees is just because of they're not making money from selling their. So therefore, MDPI is charging high, very high charging. But they maintain the quality. But I feel personally it's not that level. So, but most of the journal, no, it's not that all journal there. They have launching so many new journals. So journals citations is come out. You see, I just show you the impact factor. It will be at least 5 years to publish the impact factor, at least 5 years, because the journal started, let's say this year. So they have to earn citation, at least they have to earn 2-3 years. Then another 2 years, they will need to record it into last 2 years divided by number of publications that I show the formula. And then it at least 5 years. So at least 5 years, so new journal should not be there. All right.
Okay, sir. So another question from Sister Salma Jahan. Prof, can you please share more about the Q1, Q2, and Q3 journal, and how can we make our journal more impactful? Sister Salma Jahan, are you here?
All right. So Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So how to actually distribute? Q1 means first 25%. First 25%. Let's say in that category, let's say 100 journals is there. One particular category is 100 journal. So first 25 journal is Q1, 26 to 50 is a Q2, 51 to 75 is Q3, and 76 to 100 is a Q4. So that's actually the distributions of Q1, Q2, Q3. Some journals say, even though it's a Q1, because Q1 is 25%, right? That 20%, that 25%, they are looking again top 10. Let's say I say 25 journal is Q1. So they are looking first top 10 is a high impact. First top 10, who are the ranking first top 10? That is the impactful. So therefore, automatically, if you have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, is meaning quartile. So which quartile is the first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and the fourth quartile? We publish in itself, it is impactful because this mechanism is accepted and widely used. So therefore, it should not be problem that even how to manage the impactful, journal or impact. So if you have Q1, definitely is good because your first 25% of your journal you're publishing. If not, still, I personally feel whatever, as I from beginning, I say from during my talk, that you just publish it. Don't look at much about either Q1, Q2, Q3. If not Q1, just go to the Q2. If not Q2, but published. My advice is just publish it, but maintain the quality, at least not compromise without impact factor. If you feel that the work is standard up to that level. Thank you.
Okay, so Prof, we have another question. It's a question from Sister Noor Aisha Jainal. Prof, is IIM Engineering Journal is high impact journal?
No, it is only Scuba Index journal, and it is in Q to be Q's journal. I say Q's mean first it will be Q4. If it is announced, it will be Q4. But at this point, it's not high impact. But it is index journal, it's Scuba Index. But as I'm editorial for a long time in IIM Engineering Journal, so IIM Engineering Journal is maintaining the quality. Definitely, it's maintaining the quality. We go through, even though we can wait until 1 year to publish it, but we don't want to publish just put here and there to get the review and then no. I am actually maintaining the quality, but it's not as per database. It's not high impact.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Any questions?
And short reminder, just quick reminder for all participants. The attendance list has been already done in the chat box. The certificate of participants will be given based on the attendance. Please don't forget to fill up the attendance form. Now this is the question section, open discussion section. If you have any question, just please unmute your microphone and ask the question. Yeah, just unmute. There is one question, Elisa R. How to highlight novelty of the research?
Yeah, I already explained to the introduction. When you write introductions, in introductions, novelty means what? Original work. Original work meaning that work is not done before. The work is not done before. It's not repetition of existing knowledge. It's a new knowledge. If we prove that it's a new knowledge, you need to fulfill, that is novelty or originality. So it's meaning how to defend this one, you have to summarize all existing knowledge, okay? Then you'll try to find that what is the gap of this existing knowledge, and if you fulfill this gap. So this is the novelty. Because you are doing which is not done before. Which is not done before, so you are contributing a new knowledge to the scientific community. So therefore, you have to defend this way, how to defend novelty.
Okay, sir. Then another question from Mainul Hassan. JCR index important for journal section?
JCR, as I said, JCR is a report. That report actually summarized from Web of Science. So JCR will be identify your Q1, Q2, Q3. But if you want to see that your journal ranking, all these details information about that particular journal, then we need a JCR report. It means we go to the JCR and we just write the journal name, and you can see what is the ranking of the journal, what is the citations, all the record will be there. It's not important to know about it, but it's a curiosity. As a researcher, for me as academic, I like to know, I like to see the JCR report because I can see everything, how the journal is performing, as the things. But it's not important because it's just a ranking. It's just a rank. If you know about the rank, that's it. You don't need to know about JCR. But it is good to know that if you want to go more details to know about that particular journal.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Is there any question from our audience? Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, just please ask our professor. He'll give the answer. If you have any question from your side. Okay, if you have no questions, sir, I have one question. If we submit a one paper in IEEE transition or IEEE access, normally they give the correction or review, minor correction. How we can manage the review, that's mean response letter. Normally IEEE access, they give the format, but another journal like as Wali Online, IEEE transaction, they didn't give the proper response letter. So how we can make a standard response letter?
I think in journal is not simply if you get the review report, you're talking about the review report, right? And how to respond there. Okay, there is no such things, and that they'll just give you the reviewers' comments, and then you have to respond. So for me, as we normally sit together. Sometimes I handle myself these things. So every question is not how do you have every questions or there is some queries. So you have to write a response, just write a response, and you can defend it. Sometimes actually, I want to talk on that because this is one of the limitations of how to manage the reviewer to convince actually. Sometimes there is reviewer, you feel that the reviewer, I'm talking about the how to respond it. Response you have to do, every point you have to respond, every point, whatever reviewer comments, every point you have to review. On the bottom you have to write response, and the response, and you have to write the response. So when we're writing response, you can explain, you'll not explain anything about any limitations of the reviewer's thing. Sometimes you feel that the reviewer maybe don't know about it, or maybe it's not actually, he's not aware about it, but is correct. The statement is correct. So you don't need to write, you are wrong, or other something, You just explain the process again, nicely explain the process and conclude it. The reviewer read and get more understanding, and he feel that, oh yeah, it's correct. He was might wrong, but you don't need to write might wrong. So therefore, everything must be positively. We have to write. Note is straightforward. Review responding, it should be more details. Give some reference, give some justification, put some reference to as much as you have a knowledge to justify that. No any negative things, no any things that the reviewer can be feel that you are insulting him. Examples, no. You have to write nicely, considering all the points, and as much as you can give the evidence, even though sometimes I put even extra 5 references, extra, it's not in the manuscript, but defending this extra 5 references to explain the reviewer that recently this published or that, but not in the article, but just for convince to the reviewer. So this is the way actually, if you have acceptance and you have a reviewer, but there is no such format actually. You have to your own format. I'm not sure exactly that IEEE, but our area actually, we write just as a response, and we write each response to comment to the reviewers.
All right, sir. So another question from Bithi Roy. How can I find the fake conference paper?
Fake conference paper also, this well list also you can find it here, because the fake conference now, all are actually is under some publishers, under some, the society, the different society also is here. I mean, I saw some conference paper, their name also is in here. So still you can see the bell list that I show you, still the bell list is in the presentation mode here. So if you can go there, still you can find some conference publisher also is here. So those who are doing, different places, every month they have conferences. Some conferences you can see every month, and all the areas they have. Science, technology, social science, economics, everything they have every month. So basically there's all the quality of that publisher is not maintaining. So you can find also here from that list.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now our photo session. Could you open your camera? We want to take some picture, please.
Okay, can I stop my presentation?
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Okay, please open your camera, all of you, please. Okay, please open your camera and smiley face. All right. So thank you very much, Prof. Zahangir. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of BSME Organization Committee, once again, I would like to thank you all for actively participating in this webinar. We are looking forward to meeting you all again in our future events. I apologize for any flaws and technical issues. With that, I'm MM Hassan Mahfouz signing off and wishing you all the best. Take care and stay safe. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Especially thank you very much, our Prof, and all participants.
Thank you very much to you, also the participants, those who are actually listening to me. So we hope if you have any queries in future, I have I have the email number there in the first slide. So if you can email me if you know further something, or those who are Malaysia also you can call me, and those who are IIUM also we can see even though face to face. So once again, thank you very much, organizers, and finally, brothers.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, doctor.
Salam.
Thank you, Prof. and moderator.
How are you?